Imagine standing at the edge of your current reality, looking into a life of limitless abundance. What if I told you that this transformation, this shift into wealth could begin right now, manifesting fully in just 3 days? You might wonder how that's possible, but let me assure you, it is not only possible, it is inevitable when you understand the simple truth that your reality bends to your consciousness. The wealth you desire is already here, waiting for you to claim it. You do not need to chase it, beg for it, or prove your worth to receive it. Your task is to align your inner state with that of the person who already has what they seek. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine. What does your life look like 3 days from now, knowing you are wealthy? How do you feel? Hold on to that feeling, not as a wish, but as a fact. Say to yourself, it is done. Feel the joy, the ease, and the security as if your riches have already arrived. You do not need physical evidence to validate this truth. You are the evidence. The moment you shift your awareness to a state of abundance, the world will mirror it back to you. Do not concern yourself with how it will come. The universe has countless ways to bring about your wealth. Your only responsibility is to stay unwavering in your assumption of already having it. Be grateful today as though your desires have already materialized. Gratitude is not just a polite gesture. It is the bridge between your current reality and the one you are creating. If doubts arise, acknowledge them as passing shadows, powerless against the light of your conviction. Let your imagination be your guide, painting a vivid picture of prosperity and joy. Each day, act from that state of wealth. Speak, think, and behave as the version of yourself who has already received everything they desire. They will only call upon you when you recognize the truth in their desire. This is not a prediction but a promise. In 3 days, watch as the doors to abundance swing wide open. Opportunities will find you, resources will flow effortlessly, and the world will rise to meet the richness you have claimed within yourself. Affirmations and resolutions for 2017 will be spoken by all, and your expectations must be lifted high every single day. You do not need permission to be wealthy. You need only claim it now and always. The abundance you seek is already yours. What you vividly imagine and accept as true holds the power to shape your reality. The outer world is merely a reflection of your inner state, and every experience you encounter stems from the assumptions you hold within your mind. Your imagination is not a tool reserved for fantasy or idle thought. It is the foundation upon which your life is built. The truth is simple yet profound. If you can see it in your mind and feel it as real, you will inevitably see it manifest in your external world. Many people underestimate the power of imagination, dismissing it as wishful thinking. They believe that tangible actions alone drive success, unaware that every action is a byproduct of the mind's unseen creative power. Every invention, achievement, or transformation began as an idea, a spark within someone's imagination. Before anything exists physically, it must first be constructed mentally. This truth places immense creative power in your hands, waiting for you to wield it consciously and deliberately. It uses opportunities for active pursuit. It guides you and uplifts you to new heights. It produces imaginative expression. To harness this power, you must understand that imagination works through feelings and assumptions rather than mere intellectual visualization. It is not enough to simply picture wealth, success, or happiness. You must embody the feeling of already having those things as if they are a present reality. This mental state aligns you vibrationally with the life you desire, compelling circumstances to conform to your dominant inner vision. When you feel yourself as wealthy, even before physical evidence appears, your world begins to organize itself to reflect that assumption. You now begin to see doubt and fear are the only barriers that can block this process. When you focus on what is lacking or question how your desires will manifest, you disrupt the creative process. These negative emotions send conflicting signals to your subconscious mind, which faithfully responds by perpetuating lack and limitation. But when you boldly claim the reality you seek and sustain that conviction, regardless of outer appearances, your assumption will harden into fact. The key is persistence. The mind naturally gravitates toward familiar thought patterns, often rooted in scarcity and limitation. It requires conscious effort to redirect your imagination toward abundance and success consistently. Daily practice strengthens your ability to hold this inner vision unwaveringly, even in the face of external contradictions. Visualization, affirmations, and meditation are effective techniques for cultivating this focused awareness. Mindfulness and meditation can make a tremendous difference in the visualization process. The more vividly and consistently you imagine your desired state, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind. It is important to note that imagination is not bound by logical constraints. Your current circumstances do not dictate what is possible for you. The limitations perceived by your senses are temporary and malleable. The only true limitations are those you impose upon yourself through rigid thinking and disbelief. When you liberate your imagination from these constraints, you unlock infinite possibilities and step into a world where anything is achievable. Inspiration causes us to let go of all defense mechanisms and go with impunity. When you liberate your imagination from these constraints, you unlock infinite possibilities and step into a world where anything is achievable. Consider those who have defied seemingly insurmountable odds to achieve greatness. They did not allow external circumstances to define their destiny. Instead, they chose to see beyond what appeared to be real and imagined a new reality for themselves. Their unwavering belief and imaginative vision propelled them toward success, transforming their lives in extraordinary ways. You possess that same potential. Begin now by imagining the life you desire with clarity and conviction. Do not wait for the outer world to give you permission to dream. Assume that what you seek is already yours. Act, speak, and think from that state of being. Feel the joy, confidence, and fulfillment of having your desires realized. As you persist in this practice, your imagination will become the guiding force that shapes your experiences and molds your future. Trust in this process. Imagination creates reality, and when you understand and apply this principle, you become the architect of your destiny. Everything you seek is within reach, waiting for you to see it in your mind and claim it as your truth. The world will reflect your vision back to you, for it can only mirror what you imagine to be real. The external world is a mirror of your internal state. Whatever you hold within, whether thoughts of abundance or lack, joy or fear, will inevitably manifest in your experiences. It may seem as though external circumstances dictate your emotions and responses, but the truth is far more empowering. Your internal state shapes the world around you. When you learn to shift your inner state to one of richness, abundance, and fulfillment, the outer world will align to reflect that reality. The transformation begins within and radiates outward. Many people fall into the trap of waiting for external validation before allowing themselves to feel abundant or successful. They believe they need a bank account overflowing with money, a prestigious title, or tangible markers of achievement to experience the emotions associated with success. However, this approach places them in a reactive state, constantly dependent on circumstances beyond their control. Instead, the key to lasting abundance is to feel rich within before seeing external evidence of wealth. This shift in focus demands that you detach from the appearances of your current situation. You must rise above the noise of doubt and limitation that the physical world often presents. The external world may suggest lack, but that does not mean you must accept it as your truth. Your inner state is sovereign. When you choose to feel wealthy and secure, regardless of appearances, you harness a creative power that shapes the material world. Feeling rich within is not simply about imagining piles of money or material possessions. It is about cultivating a state of being that resonates with abundance. It involves embodying a sense of gratitude, joy, and peace, knowing that all your needs are already met. This internal wealth goes beyond financial gain. It encompasses a life filled with purpose, fulfillment, and satisfaction. When you operate from this state, wealth in all forms flows to you naturally and effortlessly. You might wonder how to cultivate such a state when external conditions seem bleak. The answer lies in your ability to focus your attention deliberately. Where your attention goes, energy flows. If you dwell on lack, you reinforce that experience in your life. But if you consistently direct your attention toward abundance and possibility, you pave the way for those realities to unfold. Start by acknowledging the abundance already present in your life, no matter how small it may seem. Gratitude amplifies what you focus on and signals to your subconscious mind that you already live in abundance. Visualization is a powerful tool to help you shift your inner state. Take time each day to close your eyes and imagine yourself living your ideal life. See yourself as already successful, happy, and wealthy. Feel the emotions associated with that reality: joy, confidence, and peace. These emotions are your most potent signals to the universe, calling forth experiences that match them. As you consistently practice this, your inner state begins to shift, and the outer world responds in kind. Remember, affirmations can also reinforce this internal shift. Speak words of abundance to yourself daily, such as "I am wealthy, I live a life of abundance," or "money flows to me effortlessly." These affirmations may feel strange initially if they contradict your current reality, but repetition and belief will rewire your subconscious mind over time. Another key to sustaining this state is letting go of resistance. Do not cling to fear, doubt, or the need to control how your desires manifest. Trust in the process and release attachment to specific outcomes. The universe operates with perfect timing and intelligence. Your job is not to figure out the how, but to maintain a state of unwavering belief and expectation. When you cultivate a rich inner state, your actions will naturally align with abundance. You will find yourself making decisions from a place of confidence rather than desperation, seizing opportunities that resonate with your inner wealth. Your external reality cannot help but mirror this internal transformation. The shift begins within. When you feel rich inside, the world outside will rise to meet that vision. Feel abundant now and watch as your external world transforms to reflect the wealth you hold within. The power of assumption lies in your ability to claim and embody a desired state as though it is already yours, regardless of what your current circumstances may suggest. This principle may seem counterintuitive to those who believe that outer reality determines inner experience. Yet the truth is that your assumptions shape your world, and not the other way around. By assuming the feeling of wealth as already yours, you create the conditions for it to manifest in your life. When you assume something, you accept it as true without needing external proof. In the context of creating a life of abundance, this means adopting the mindset and emotional state of someone who is already wealthy. You do not wait for your bank account to reflect millions before feeling secure or joyful. Instead, you cultivate these feelings now, knowing that your external reality will align with your inner conviction over time. Whoever considers conviction and follows it with all their heart, eternal conviction, is wealthy even in the short term as well as the long term. Remember, we are now living in a belief universe, and your belief. This is not about pretending or forcing yourself to ignore current challenges. Rather, it is about consciously choosing to live from a place of belief rather than lack. One of the most significant aspects of assumption is the emotional state you maintain. Feeling is the secret ingredient that gives your assumption power. It is not enough to mentally declare yourself wealthy if your feelings contradict that declaration. Your emotions must harmonize with your thoughts. creating a state of inner alignment. When you assume the feeling of wealth is already yours, you generate a sense of confidence, peace, and gratitude that naturally attracts corresponding external conditions. And this process requires persistence and discipline. The mind has been conditioned to react to appearances and may resist adopting a new assumption that seems contrary to present circumstances. However, repetition and consistent practice will rewire your subconscious mind to accept this new state as your truth. The more vividly you imagine yourself as already wealthy, and the more deeply you feel it, the more real it becomes within you. As your inner state transforms, so too will your outer experiences. Visualization is a powerful tool in this process. Close your eyes and imagine yourself living a life of financial abundance. See yourself engaging in the activities you would pursue if wealth were already yours. What does your environment look like? How do you feel? Immerse yourself fully in this mental picture, allowing your emotions to match the joy, freedom, and security of that vision. The key is to feel as though you are living that reality now, not projecting it into some distant future. You must act. Affirmations can further reinforce your assumption of wealth. Speak statements such as, "I am abundant," "I attract wealth effortlessly," or "Financial success is my natural state." These affirmations, when repeated with conviction and feeling, help to replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Over time, your mind begins to accept these affirmations as fact, guiding your actions and decisions in alignment with abundance. But it is also essential to release attachment to how or when your assumption will manifest externally. Trust in the process and remain confident that your assumption, when sustained, will solidify into your reality. The universe operates with precision and intelligence, bringing forth opportunities, resources, and experiences that align with your dominant state of being. Your job is not to micromanage this process, but to remain steadfast in your assumption and open to receiving. In 3001, he said, "I know nothing about the future. Whatever comes to me happens, but the things which doubt and fear are natural but must be consciously managed. When they arise, gently redirect your focus back to the feeling of having already achieved your desire. Remember that outer circumstances are transient and malleable. They do not define your potential or limit what you can create. You hold the creative power within your consciousness to reshape your world and make it as beautiful and wonderful as your mind can conceive and believe." Assuming the feeling of wealth is already yours places you in the driver's seat of your life. It allows you to transcend limiting circumstances and step into the reality you desire. The power of assumption is a reminder that creation begins within. What you assume to be true will become true, and the life of abundance you seek will unfold before you. Gratitude is a transformative force that aligns your inner state with the fulfillment of your desires. When you express thanks in advance, you signal to your mind and the universe that what you seek is already present in your life. This practice is not about wishful thinking or pretending. It is a deliberate act of creation, rooted in faith and awareness. By feeling and expressing gratitude as though your desires have already come to pass, you draw those very outcomes toward you with greater ease and certainty. The common approach to gratitude often ties it to external circumstances, being thankful only when something favorable occurs. While this reactive gratitude has value, it lacks the full creative power of proactive gratitude. When you thank the universe in advance for blessings yet unseen, you shift your mindset to one of expectation and belief. You are no longer hoping for your desire to manifest. You are acknowledging it as already done and expressing thanks for its presence in your life. Gratitude in advance cultivates a state of certainty and abundance. It changes your perception, making you more aware of opportunities and resources that may have otherwise gone unnoticed. By focusing on what you are thankful for even before it materializes, you train your mind to dwell on possibilities rather than limitations. This shift in focus activates a positive feedback loop where feelings of gratitude attract more experiences that inspire further gratitude. And now, the emotional resonance of gratitude is crucial in this process. It is not merely about repeating words of thanks, but truly feeling the joy, relief, and appreciation as though your desires have already manifested. This emotional alignment creates a powerful vibrational signal that communicates with your subconscious mind and the universe. When you live in a state of heartfelt gratitude, you become a magnet for the circumstances and conditions that match that energy. One effective practice to cultivate gratitude in advance is visualization combined with emotional immersion. Set aside quiet time each day to imagine your life with your desires fulfilled. Picture yourself living the reality you seek, whether it's financial abundance, vibrant health, or meaningful relationships. Feel the emotions that come with having what you desire. Let the joy, peace, and satisfaction wash over you. Then, express sincere thanks for this reality as though it has already unfolded. Your brain cannot distinguish between real and imagined experiences when accompanied by strong emotion, making this practice a potent tool for manifestation. Journaling can also help anchor your feelings of gratitude. Begin each day by writing down the things you are thankful for, including those that have not yet physically manifested. Use statements such as, "I am so grateful for the financial freedom I enjoy," or "I am thankful for the loving relationships that enrich my life." This practice not only reinforces your sense of abundance, but also keeps your focus on what is possible rather than what appears lacking. It is important to release any attachment to specific outcomes or timing. Gratitude in advance does not mean obsessing over how your desires will manifest. Instead, it is about trusting the process and knowing that the universe operates with perfect timing and intelligence. When you remain detached from the mechanics and simply hold steady in your state of thankfulness, the path to fulfillment often unfolds in ways beyond what you could have planned. Gratitude is also a powerful antidote to fear, doubt, and frustration. When challenges arise, maintaining a mindset of gratitude keeps you grounded in faith and possibility. Even in moments of uncertainty, you can choose to focus on what is going well or hold gratitude for the lessons being learned. This perspective empowers you to navigate difficulties with grace and resilience, knowing that everything is working for your highest good. By being thankful now for what you desire, as if it has already come to pass, you claim ownership of your dreams. Gratitude bridges the gap between your present and your future, bringing your desires from the realm of possibility into reality. It aligns your mind, emotions, and spirit with the energy of abundance, setting the stage for the fulfillment of your greatest aspirations. Detachment from fear is a liberating practice that clears the way for abundance and fulfillment. Fear, doubt, and anxiety often arise when we become overly focused on what could go wrong, or when we attach ourselves to specific outcomes. These emotions create mental and emotional barriers that block the flow of what we desire. Yet fear is nothing more than an illusion, a product of imagined future scenarios that rarely materialize as we expect. One can make life-changing decisions when we put pressure on internal bowels which really matter less as we expect. By releasing attachment to these limiting thoughts, we free ourselves to receive the abundance that life is eager to offer. Fear thrives on uncertainty, feeding the mind with doubts and worst-case scenarios. It whispers that your desires are out of reach, that you are not worthy, or that failure is inevitable. These mental constructs gain strength when we give them attention and energy, making them seem real and formidable. However, fear has no inherent power beyond what we assign to it. When you recognize fear as a fleeting thought rather than an absolute truth, it begins to lose its grip on your mind. Letting go of fear requires a conscious shift in perception. Instead of resisting or suppressing fearful thoughts, acknowledge their presence without judgment. Observe them as an impartial witness, understanding that these thoughts are merely passing clouds in the sky of your consciousness. They do not define you, nor do they have the authority to dictate your reality unless you permit them to. By distancing yourself from these emotions, you create space for clarity, peace, and the realization that abundance is already within your reach. One of the most effective tools for detaching from fear is the practice of mindfulness. When fear arises, bring your awareness fully to the present moment. Fear often exists in anticipation of future events that may never happen. By grounding yourself in the now, you weaken fear's foundation. Pay attention to your breath, the sensations in your body, or the sounds around you. This practice anchors you in the present, reminding you that in this moment, you are safe and capable. And affirmations can also help reframe fear-based thinking. Replace negative internal dialogue with empowering statements, such as "I trust the process of life," "I am divinely guided and protected," or "everything is working out for my highest good." These affirmations reinforce your belief in abundance and dissolve the mental patterns that give rise to doubt and anxiety. Visualization is another powerful technique to counter fear. Instead of dwelling on what might go wrong, vividly imagine the best possible outcomes. Picture yourself already living in abundance, joy, and fulfillment. Engage all your senses in this mental imagery, making the experience as real as possible. The more you focus on these positive visions, the less room there is for fear to take hold. The inflammatory state of your mind leads to an intensive concentration and selecting the most natural and healthy vegetables for the meal that you eat. Detachment does not mean indifference or inaction. It is about releasing the need to control every detail of how your desires manifest and trusting that the universe is working in your favor. When you let go of fear, you open yourself to receive guidance, inspiration, and opportunities that align with your highest good. This trust allows you to move forward with confidence, even when the path ahead is unclear. Another key aspect of detachment is surrendering the need for immediate results. Fear often stems from impatience or the belief that things must happen according to a specific timeline. However, life unfolds in divine timing, often delivering what you need at precisely the right moment. Trusting this process frees you from the stress of trying to force outcomes and allows abundance to flow naturally. Self-compassion is essential when working to detach from fear. Understand that fear is a natural response to uncertainty and does not reflect weakness. Be gentle with yourself as you navigate this process, recognizing that growth often involves stepping outside your comfort zone. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and remember that each step you take toward freedom from fear brings you closer to the life you desire. When you detach from fear and embrace trust, you reclaim your power to create and attract abundance. You shift your focus from lack to possibility, from doubt to faith, and from anxiety to peace. In this state of openness and trust, the illusions of fear dissolve, leaving space for the manifestation of your greatest aspirations. Life responds to your energy, and when you release fear, you invite limitless potential to unfold. The present moment holds the key to all creation and manifestation. It is the point of power from which your reality unfolds. Many people mistakenly believe that their desires, dreams, or abundance exist somewhere in a distant future, waiting for the right time to arrive. However, this perception creates a gap between you and the life you wish to experience. The truth is that the wealth, joy, and fulfillment you seek are not separate from you. They are being shaped and brought into existence in this very moment. Everything is just taking place in exactly the way it's supposed to. Knowledge in the mind becomes wisdom. Knowledge in the mind becomes strength. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs in the present are the building blocks of your future experiences. What you choose to focus on now becomes the foundation for what materializes in your external world. This is why it is essential to direct your attention deliberately and consciously. Instead of dwelling on worries about what might happen or longing for a future that feels out of reach, Recognize that everything you desire is already in the process of manifesting. The key is to align your present mindset and feelings with the reality you wish to create. Living in the present moment does not mean ignoring your aspirations or neglecting practical planning. Instead, it involves embracing the truth that your power to shape the future resides in your awareness of the now. When you are fully present, free from the distractions of past regrets or future anxieties, you become attuned to the opportunities and inspirations that guide you toward your goals. You are no longer waiting for wealth or success to come to you. You are actively participating in its creation through your current state of being. A common obstacle to embracing the present is the habit of mentally projecting yourself into the future, imagining that happiness or abundance is always one step away. This mindset reinforces a sense of lack and dissatisfaction, making it difficult to fully appreciate or harness the power of the present. When you tell yourself, "I will be happy when I achieve this goal," or "I will feel abundant when I have more money," you are postponing your well-being and creating unnecessary resistance to receiving what you desire. In order to get rid of your obstacles, you must transfer the obstacles to your dreams. The key to dissolving this resistance lies in recognizing that the feeling of wealth and fulfillment is available to you right now, regardless of your external circumstances. By choosing to embody these feelings in the present, you align yourself with the vibration of abundance, making it easier for your external reality to mirror that energy. The universe responds not to your wishes or hopes, but to the state of being you cultivate in each moment. Mindfulness is a powerful practice for reclaiming your present power. By focusing your attention on the here and now, you become aware of your thoughts and feelings without being controlled by them. This awareness allows you to consciously choose thoughts that support your vision of abundance, rather than thoughts rooted in fear or limitation. Simple acts such as mindful breathing, grounding yourself through observation of your surroundings, or expressing gratitude for the present can shift your focus from what is lacking to what is already present and flourishing in your life. Gratitude, in particular, is a potent tool for amplifying your present power. When you express appreciation for what you have now, you cultivate an energy of abundance that naturally attracts more to be grateful for. Even when your current circumstances seem challenging, finding reasons to be thankful shifts your perspective and opens you up to solutions and possibilities you might not have otherwise seen. It is also important to understand that the present moment is not bound by linear time. Your future is shaped by how you feel and think now, and your past is reinterpreted through your present awareness. When you fully embrace the now, you transcend the limitations of time and step into the realm of infinite possibilities. In this state, wealth, success, and fulfillment are not distant goals, but present realities unfolding in perfect harmony with your inner state. By grounding yourself in the present and aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with abundance, you activate the creative power within you. The wealth you seek is not waiting in some future moment. It is being formed in the here and now by your willingness to embody it. When you realize this truth and live it fully, you unlock the limitless potential of the present as your point of greatest power. In conclusion, the journey to wealth and abundance begins within you, shaped by your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions in the present moment. The power to manifest your desires lies not in striving for a distant future, but in recognizing that the life you seek is already unfolding here and now. By shifting your inner state, detaching from fear, practicing gratitude, and embodying the feeling of your fulfilled desires, you become a powerful creator of your reality. The key is to trust, believe, and act as if what you desire is already yours. The second step to developing faith is to abide by the laws of your own mind. Thank you for joining me on this transformative exploration. May your journey be filled with boundless abundance and joy as you embrace the truth of your infinite potential.
Ladies and gentlemen, strength is not always what we expect it to be. It's not about being the loudest voice in the room or dominating others through sheer force. True strength is a quiet, unshakable resolve that anchors you, no matter how turbulent the world around you becomes. The strongest among us have one thing in common: they own their lives. They don't waste time blaming circumstances, other people, or the universe for their struggles. Instead, they ask, what can I do to change this? Strength begins where excuses end. It takes immense courage to walk alone, to step away from the crowd and follow a path that feels right for you, even when no one else understands. Solitude isn't a weakness, it's a crucible where clarity, creativity, and authenticity are forged. Saying no can feel like a small rebellion, but it's one of the strongest acts of self-respect. You understand that your time, energy, and emotional space are finite, and you guard them wisely. This isn't selfishness, it's wisdom. The strongest people know that pain and struggle are not barriers to be avoided, but bridges to be crossed. Whether it's learning a new skill, overcoming a loss, or facing a fear, you understand that discomfort is the currency of growth. When faced with adversity, you don't crumble. Whether it's a difficult decision, a harsh critique, or an unforeseen crisis, you respond with grace and composure. Strength is staying calm when others are losing control. You don't compromise on your principles to fit in or gain approval. This can mean standing up for what you believe in, even when it's unpopular. True strength is living in alignment with your values regardless of external pressures. Strength is refusing to give up, even when the odds seem insurmountable. You may feel tired, discouraged, or even broken, but you continue to believe in the possibility of a better future. Hope is not naive, it's the fuel that sustains your strength. In a world that often rewards bravado and superficial displays of power, remember that true strength runs deeper. It's a quiet, resilient force that shapes your character and defines your legacy. So if you recognize yourself in these signs, take heart. You are far stronger than you know, and that strength is the foundation upon which you will build an extraordinary life. True strength is a quality often misunderstood. Many equate it with loud declarations, dramatic gestures, or imposing dominance over others. Yet genuine strength is far more subtle and profound. It resides in a quiet, steady presence, a poise that emanates from self-control, resilience, and the ability to face life's adversities with dignity and grace. At its core, strength is not about overpowering others or shouting over the noise, it's about mastering oneself. The person who remains calm in chaos, who can hold their emotions in check when everything around them seems to be spiraling out of control, embodies true power. This isn't a suppression of feelings, but rather a mastery of them, a conscious choice to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. It is the kind of strength that chooses silence when words might wound, or patience when frustration beckons. Such control requires a deep reservoir of inner fortitude. Resilience is another cornerstone of strength, and it too often operates in quiet ways. Life is unpredictable, throwing challenges, disappointments, and heartbreaks our way. While some crumble under the weight of adversity, others quietly pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and move forward. This doesn't mean they don't feel pain or doubt, it means they choose to persevere despite it. Their strength lies in their ability to adapt, to learn, and to grow from life's trials without allowing those trials to define or defeat them. Dignity is perhaps the most visible expression of this quiet strength. It is seen in the person who carries themselves with grace, even when facing criticism, failure, or loss. They do not need to shout their achievements or broadcast their struggles. Their actions and demeanor speak volumes on their behalf. Such dignity is not rooted in arrogance, but in a deep understanding of their own worth, a worth that doesn't depend on external validation. It is the quiet confidence of someone who knows who they are and refuses to let circumstances dictate their value. This kind of strength is often misunderstood because it doesn't demand attention, it doesn't seek applause or recognition, it isn't about being the loudest voice in the room or the most visible presence in a crowd. Instead, it is the steady anchor in a storm, the calm amidst chaos, the person who remains standing when others have fallen. And it is this quiet nature of true strength that makes it so powerful. It is unshakable because it doesn't rely on external factors, it is rooted entirely within. In a world that often celebrates loudness and bravado, this kind of strength may seem understated or even invisible. But it is precisely this quiet quality that allows it to endure. Loud strength can crumble when it is tested because it depends on outward displays to sustain itself. Quiet strength, on the other hand, grows stronger under pressure, drawing from its internal foundation. True strength is not about domination or showmanship. It is about resilience, self-control, and dignity. It is the quiet force that sustains individuals through life's challenges, enabling them to navigate difficulties with grace and emerge not just unbroken, but even stronger. Taking responsibility is one of the most empowering actions a person can take. It is the foundation upon which a strong, resilient life is built. The strongest individuals are those who embrace the reality that their lives are shaped by their choices, decisions, and actions. And they refuse to play the victim or blame others for their circumstances. Instead, they acknowledge their role in their experiences, good or bad, and take charge of creating the outcomes they desire. At its core, taking responsibility is about ownership. It means recognizing that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you always have control over how you respond. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable, but your power lies in your ability to choose your attitude and actions in the face of those challenges. The strongest individuals understand this distinction. They do not waste energy lamenting the unfairness of life or waiting for someone else to solve their problems. Instead, they ask, what can I do to move forward? When you take responsibility for your life, you shift from a mindset of helplessness to one of empowerment. Blaming others or external circumstances may feel comforting in the short term, as it absolves you of fault or effort. However, this mindset also strips you of your agency, leaving you at the mercy of forces beyond your control. In contrast, owning your role in your life, both the successes and the failures, gives you the ability to affect change. It allows you to see setbacks not as permanent defeats, but as opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow. This mindset is not about self-blame or unnecessary guilt. Taking responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything that goes wrong. It is about being honest with yourself, identifying where your choices or actions might have contributed to a situation and committing to doing better in the future. It is an act of courage to face your flaws, mistakes, and limitations without defensiveness or denial. And this honesty is not only liberating but also transformative. It allows you to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable with each experience. The refusal to play the victim is another hallmark of strong individuals. When you adopt a victim mentality, you give away your power. You become stuck in a narrative where life happens to you, and you have no control or agency. This mindset breeds resentment, frustration, and stagnation. Conversely, when you take responsibility, you reclaim your power. You recognize that while you may not have chosen your circumstances, you can always choose how to navigate them. This shift from victimhood to ownership is profoundly freeing. Owning your life also means embracing the consequences of your choices. It means acknowledging that your actions have ripple effects and being willing to accept the outcomes they produce. Strong individuals do not shy away from accountability, they welcome it. They understand that accountability is not a burden but a pathway to growth and improvement. By accepting responsibility for their actions, they build trust, credibility, and self-respect. Taking responsibility is not about perfection, it is about empowerment. It is about recognizing that you are the author of your story, capable of shaping your path and creating the life you envision. It is a commitment to living with intention, integrity, and courage. By refusing to play the victim and taking full ownership of your life, you unlock the strength to overcome challenges, embrace opportunities, and thrive. Standing alone is one of the most profound tests of character a person can face. It is a powerful declaration of independence and a demonstration of inner fortitude. While humans are inherently social creatures, there are moments in life when the path forward requires solitude, a willingness to walk alone, even when it feels uncomfortable or isolating. Those who possess the strength to stand alone exhibit a rare kind of courage and self-reliance that defines true character. To stand alone often means to make choices that align with your values and convictions, even when those choices are unpopular or misunderstood. It requires the ability to tune out external noise, criticism, and doubt and remain steadfast in your beliefs. This is no easy feat in a world that often prioritizes conformity and seeks validation through collective agreement. Yet the person who can chart their own course, despite the lack of external approval or companionship, demonstrates remarkable inner strength. Walking a lonely path can arise from various circumstances. Perhaps it is the decision to pursue a career, lifestyle, or dream that others deem unconventional. It may be the choice to leave a toxic relationship, even if it means being alone for a while. Or it could be standing firm in your principles when everyone around you is compromising theirs. Whatever the situation, standing alone is an act of bravery. It requires not only self-belief, but also the resilience to face doubt, loneliness, and fear without losing your sense of purpose. Independence is a key aspect of standing alone. True independence is not about rejecting others or isolating yourself. Rather, it is about cultivating a strong sense of self that is not overly reliant on external validation. People who stand alone do so because they trust their own judgment and inner compass. They are not swayed by the opinions of others because they have taken the time to reflect on their values and priorities. This self-awareness and confidence provide the foundation for their independence. Standing alone also nurtures personal growth. Solitude offers the opportunity for deep introspection, clarity, and self-discovery. It allows you to confront your fears, challenge your assumptions, and strengthen your resolve. In the absence of external distractions, you can focus on understanding who you are and what truly matters to you. This process of self-discovery is often uncomfortable, but it is also transformative. It builds the kind of resilience and self-assurance that cannot be shaken by life's challenges. Standing alone can inspire others. When people see someone willing to take a stand, even in isolation, it serves as a powerful reminder of the strength of individuality and the importance of integrity. Your courage to walk a lonely path can encourage others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of empowerment. Standing alone is not about rejecting connection or refusing help when needed. It is about knowing when to rely on yourself and when to seek support. It is the ability to navigate life with the understanding that you are capable of weathering storms on your own, yet open to collaboration and community when it aligns with your values and goals. The ability to stand alone reflects a profound sense of character. It reveals a person who is unafraid to live authentically, pursue their dreams, and uphold their principles, even when the journey feels isolating. This independence and inner fortitude form the backbone of true strength, allowing individuals to live with purpose, resilience, and unwavering self-respect. Growth often emerges from the moments we least desire, those filled with discomfort, uncertainty, and even pain. Personal strength is not born in comfort zones or in the safety of familiar routines. It is forged in the crucible of challenge, where we are pushed beyond our limits and required to confront the unknown. While these moments may feel overwhelming, they are the very experiences that shape our character, refine our abilities, and prepare us for greater opportunities ahead. Discomfort forces us to face truths about ourselves and our circumstances. It strips away illusions and compels us to confront our fears, weaknesses, and vulnerabilities. This process is neither easy nor pleasant, but it is necessary. Without discomfort, we might remain stagnant, unwilling to question our assumptions or challenge our limitations. Growth requires us to step into situations that demand more of us than we think we can give, forcing us to adapt, learn, and ultimately transform. Pain, too, plays a pivotal role in the process of growth. Emotional and physical pain remind us of our humanity and our capacity for resilience. Pain often signals that something within us or around us needs to change, whether it is a belief, a habit, or a relationship. In the midst of pain, it is tempting to retreat, avoid, or numb ourselves to the experience. However, those who embrace pain as a teacher find themselves emerging stronger and more self-aware on the other side. Each painful experience becomes a lesson, a stepping stone toward a more profound understanding of life and ourselves. The willingness to step into the unknown is another hallmark of growth through discomfort. The unknown is inherently uncomfortable because it defies our need for control and predictability. Yet it is within the unknown that we discover our true potential. When we take risks and venture into uncharted territory, we expand our horizons and uncover strengths we never knew we had. This willingness to face uncertainty is not about recklessness, it is about courage, the courage to trust that we are capable of navigating whatever challenges come our way. Growth through discomfort also teaches us humility and gratitude. When we are tested by life's trials, we come to appreciate the strength and resilience we develop along the way. We learn to value the small victories and the lessons gained from failure. These experiences remind us that growth is not linear, nor is it easy, but it is always worthwhile. Each challenge we face and overcome deepens our sense of purpose and enriches our understanding of what it means to live fully. The path of discomfort is not one we choose lightly, but it is one that leads to profound transformation. It demands perseverance, patience, and a willingness to embrace uncertainty. It asks us to let go of old patterns and step boldly into new possibilities. While the journey may be fraught with difficulty, it is also filled with moments of revelation and triumph. Personal strength is the result of enduring and learning from life's discomforts. Each challenge faced, each pain endured, and each risk taken adds another layer to our resilience and our capacity for growth. These moments remind us that while discomfort is temporary, the growth it fosters lasts a lifetime. Through discomfort, we become not only stronger but also wiser, more compassionate, and more deeply connected to our own potential. Boundaries are a profound reflection of self-respect and personal strength. They are the invisible lines we draw to protect our time, energy, and emotional well-being. A strong person understands the importance of setting and maintaining boundaries, even when it is uncomfortable or met with resistance. This ability to say no, to prioritize one's own needs without guilt, and to stand firm in the face of pressure is a hallmark of true inner strength and self-respect. Establishing boundaries begins with self-awareness. It requires an honest assessment of what you need to feel safe, valued, and respected in your interactions and commitments. A strong person recognizes that they are responsible for their own well-being. They understand that saying yes to everything and everyone is not sustainable and often leads to exhaustion, resentment, and diminished self-worth. Instead, they take the time to identify their limits and honor them, knowing that doing so is an act of self-care, not selfishness. Saying no can be one of the most difficult aspects of setting boundaries. It often involves disappointing others or facing conflict, which can feel uncomfortable or even intimidating. However, a strong person is willing to endure this discomfort because they understand that their energy and resources are finite. They recognize that every yes to someone else is a no to themselves, if it comes at the expense of their own needs and priorities. Strength lies in the ability to say no with grace and confidence, without feeling the need to over-explain or apologize excessively. Boundaries are not just about what we refuse, they are also about what we allow and cultivate. A strong person uses boundaries to create an environment that supports their growth, happiness, and peace of mind. They surround themselves with people who respect their limits and contribute positively to their lives. Conversely, they distance themselves from toxic relationships, unhealthy dynamics, and draining commitments. This ability to curate their surroundings reflects a deep sense of self-worth and a commitment to living authentically. Maintaining boundaries often requires vigilance and courage. Even when boundaries are clearly communicated, others may test or challenge them. A strong person stands firm in the face of such challenges, refusing to compromise their values or priorities for the sake of pleasing others. They understand that it is not their responsibility to manage others' reactions to their boundaries. Instead, they focus on what they can control: their own actions, choices, and communication. Boundaries also teach others how to treat us. By setting and enforcing limits, a strong person sends a clear message about what they will and will not tolerate. This fosters mutual respect and clarity in relationships, paving the way for healthier, more balanced interactions. Over time, those who respect boundaries are drawn closer, while those who do not naturally fall away, leaving room for more meaningful connections. Boundaries are an expression of self-respect. They demonstrate a recognition of one's own value and a commitment to preserving it. A strong person understands that protecting their energy and well-being is not only essential for their own happiness, but also enables them to show up more fully for others. By setting and maintaining boundaries, they create a life that reflects their priorities, values, and worth, a life grounded in strength, authenticity, and self-respect. Strength is not simply a measure of physical endurance or the ability to withstand adversity. True strength is deeply rooted in values, the guiding principles that shape our decisions, actions, and sense of purpose. When a person lives in alignment with their core values, they create a solid moral foundation that enables them to navigate life's challenges with integrity and resilience. This alignment provides clarity and purpose, acting as an anchor in even the most turbulent storms. Values are the compass that guides our lives. They represent what we hold most important: honesty, compassion, justice, courage, or perseverance, to name a few. Living in alignment with these principles means making choices that reflect our deepest beliefs, even when it is difficult or inconvenient. A person who prioritizes their values over immediate gratification or external pressures demonstrates remarkable strength. They are not swayed by fleeting trends, societal expectations, or the opinions of others because they are firmly grounded in what truly matters to them. This alignment creates a sense of inner peace and self-respect. When our actions align with our values, we experience a sense of authenticity and coherence. There is no internal conflict between who we are and what we do. This harmony fosters self-trust, which is an essential component of strength. A person who trusts themselves, who knows they will act in accordance with their values, regardless of the circumstances, exudes confidence and dependability. Living by one's values is not always easy. In fact, it often requires immense courage and resilience. There will be moments when upholding your principles demands sacrifice, whether it is speaking out against injustice, choosing the harder but more ethical path, or standing firm in the face of opposition. These moments test your character and commitment to your values. Yet they also build your strength, reinforcing the foundation upon which your life is built. Every time you choose to honor your principles, you reaffirm your integrity and grow more resilient. Values also provide a source of stability in times of uncertainty or hardship. Life's storms can shake us to our core, leaving us questioning our purpose and direction. In these moments, our values serve as a steady guide. They remind us of what is most important and help us make decisions that align with our true selves. A person rooted in their values does not crumble under pressure, because they have a clear sense of who they are and what they stand for. Living in alignment with values inspires others. People are drawn to those who live authentically and with conviction. Such individuals serve as role models, demonstrating that it is possible to remain true to oneself, even in the face of adversity. Their strength becomes a beacon, encouraging others to reflect on their own values and live with greater purpose and integrity. Strength rooted in values is enduring. It is not dependent on external circumstances, fleeting successes, or the approval of others. Instead, it is a deep, unshakable inner strength that comes from knowing you are living in accordance with your highest principles. This alignment provides the moral foundation to weather any storm, enabling you to face life's challenges with dignity, courage, and an unwavering sense of purpose. In conclusion, true strength is not found in the superficial displays of power or fleeting moments of dominance. It is a profound, enduring quality shaped by values, resilience, and authenticity. Strength is the quiet confidence to set boundaries, the courage to grow through discomfort, the integrity to live by deeply held principles, and the wisdom to stand alone when necessary. It is rooted in taking responsibility for our lives, protecting our energy, and embracing the transformative challenges that life inevitably brings. When we embody these traits, we cultivate not only a strong character, but also a life of meaning and purpose. Strength is not about perfection or invincibility, it is about perseverance, self-respect, and the unwavering commitment to becoming the best version of ourselves. Thank you for your time and for reflecting on these truths. May this journey of cultivating inner strength inspire and empower you to face life with grace and resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, as we stand on the precipice of a new year, a question arises: what will make 2025 different? Will it be another year of fleeting resolutions and abandoned goals, or will it be the year you finally break through? The answer lies in a single word: consistency. Consistency is not glamorous. It isn't wrapped in the excitement of sudden breakthroughs or instant success. Instead, it's quiet, persistent, and often uncelebrated. But it's the only force that transforms intentions into reality. First, understand the power of small wins. Each day you are presented with a choice to act in alignment with your goals or to deviate. Success isn't built in grand gestures, it's the cumulative effect of small, deliberate actions taken day after day. Second, prioritize discipline over motivation. Motivation is a fleeting emotion, unreliable and temporary. Discipline, on the other hand, is a habit of structure that ensures you show up regardless of how you feel. Don't wait to feel ready. Build systems and rituals that compel you to act. Third, clarify your vision. Without a clear understanding of what you're working toward, consistency has no direction. Take time to articulate what you want in 2025. Make it vivid and emotionally compelling. Know your why so deeply that it anchors you when distractions arise. Fourth, embrace discomfort. There is no growth without challenge, no transformation without effort. Every time you push yourself to act in the face of resistance, you strengthen your character and your ability to endure. Consistency is forged in the fires of discomfort. Fifth, measure your progress. You cannot improve what you do not track. Develop the habit of reflection daily, weekly, monthly. Are your actions aligned with your vision? Are you advancing? Tracking builds accountability and reveals the areas that need adjustment. Adapt, don't quit. Consistency does not mean rigidly adhering to a failing strategy. Life will test you with obstacles and unexpected detours. Be flexible enough to adjust your approach, but relentless in your pursuit. As 2025 begins, let it not be hope that guides you, but habit. Let it not be fleeting excitement, but enduring commitment. Consistency is your bridge from where you are to where you want to be. This year, refuse to compromise with mediocrity. Step forward each day with deliberate intention. Do this, and you won't just crush 2025, you'll crush every year that follows. Success is not the result of one monumental action, nor is it the consequence of luck or fleeting inspiration. It is the accumulation of small, deliberate actions performed consistently over time. These small wins, often overlooked in the grand narrative of achievement, are the building blocks of a fulfilling life. They create momentum, foster resilience, and ultimately lead to profound transformation. The idea of small wins is deceptively simple, but its power lies in its execution. Every significant goal begins with a single step, and that step sets the foundation for the next. It's easy to be paralyzed by the enormity of our aspirations, to feel overwhelmed by the vast distance between where we are and where we want to be. However, when we focus on just the next actionable step, no matter how small, we shift our energy from anxiety to action. Imagine for a moment the effort required to climb a mountain. The summit may appear insurmountable, but the journey becomes manageable when broken down into individual strides. Each step forward, no matter how modest, brings you closer to the top. The same principle applies to every endeavor in life. A book is written one page at a time. A business is built one decision at a time. A strong body is forged one workout at a time. These incremental efforts may seem insignificant in isolation, but over time, their cumulative effect is extraordinary. Small wins are not just about progress, they are about building confidence. Every time you achieve a small milestone, you prove to yourself that success is possible. These victories, however minor, signal that you are capable of following through. They shift your mindset from doubt to belief, reinforcing the idea that you are in control of your outcomes. This belief becomes the fuel that drives further action, creating a virtuous cycle of effort and reward. Consistency in pursuing small wins also cultivates discipline. The act of showing up every day, regardless of motivation or mood, instills a sense of responsibility and ownership over your journey. Discipline, unlike motivation, is a stable force. It doesn't waver in the face of challenges or distractions. By committing to small, deliberate actions, you train your mind to prioritize progress over excuses. Furthermore, small wins compound over time. This is the principle of marginal gains, where a 1% improvement each day leads to exponential growth in the long run. For instance, improving a skill or habit by just a small fraction daily might seem inconsequential in the moment, but over months or years, the results are transformational. This compounding effect is a testament to the power of patience and persistence. Aiming consistently high is equally important. Small wins should not become a comfort zone, but rather a stepping stone. It's easy to celebrate minor achievements and stagnate, mistaking activity for progress. The key is to balance the humility of starting small with the ambition of reaching high. Keep your vision in focus while remaining grounded in the actions of the present. Another essential aspect of small wins is their ability to generate momentum. Momentum is the invisible force that propels you forward, making each subsequent step easier than the last. Starting is often the hardest part, but once you achieve your first small win, it becomes easier to tackle the next challenge. This momentum carries you through periods of self-doubt and external resistance, acting as a buffer against inertia. Small wins are also critical for resilience. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. Grand plans can crumble under the weight of unforeseen obstacles, but small wins are less vulnerable to disruption. They allow for flexibility and adaptation, enabling you to maintain progress even in challenging circumstances. By focusing on what you can do today, you ensure that no setback derails your journey entirely. Success is not a destination, but a journey of deliberate, incremental effort. By embracing the power of small wins, you create a pathway to your goals that is sustainable, rewarding, and transformative. You start small, but aim consistently high. Each day take a step forward. Let the small wins accumulate, and over time you'll find that what once seemed impossible is now within reach. Motivation is an exhilarating spark, the burst of energy that inspires us to start something new or tackle a challenge with enthusiasm. It feels powerful and unstoppable in the moment, but like a flame exposed to the wind, it can flicker and fade. Discipline, on the other hand, is the steady engine that keeps us moving forward when the initial excitement wanes. It is the force that sustains progress through the inevitable highs and lows, ensuring that our actions remain aligned with our goals regardless of how we feel. One of the fundamental truths about motivation is its fleeting nature. It can arise spontaneously, triggered by an inspiring story, a personal breakthrough, or even an external challenge. However, it is unreliable. Motivation ebbs and flows based on our emotional state, external circumstances, and even our physical energy levels. On days when we feel tired, discouraged, or overwhelmed, motivation may be entirely absent. Relying solely on this transient force to fuel long-term progress sets us up for inconsistency and eventual stagnation. Discipline, in contrast, does not depend on feelings. It is the ability to act in accordance with your commitments, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline thrives on structure, routine, and intention. It is not about willpower alone, but about creating an environment and a mindset that make it easier to stay consistent. Discipline removes the decision-making burden from daily actions by establishing systems that guide behavior automatically. Systems are the backbone of discipline. They are the practical frameworks that ensure you take action, no matter how unmotivated you may feel. For example, a writer who commits to writing for 1 hour every morning removes the question of "should I write today?" from their routine. A system is a predetermined commitment, a safeguard against the unpredictability of motivation. It provides clarity and eliminates the temptation to procrastinate or rationalize inaction. Building effective systems begins with understanding your goals and breaking them into manageable, actionable steps. Discipline is easier to sustain when you have a clear roadmap and specific actions to follow. If your goal is to improve your fitness, a disciplined system might involve scheduling workouts on specific days, preparing your gym clothes the night before, and committing to a training program. By doing so, you reduce the friction between intention and action. Another essential aspect of discipline is consistency. It is not about doing everything perfectly, but about showing up regularly. Even on days when your effort feels minimal or your performance is subpar, the act of maintaining your routine reinforces your commitment. This consistency builds momentum, and over time, it creates habits that become second nature. Discipline also fosters self-respect. When you follow through on your commitments to yourself, you build trust in your ability to persevere. This trust is crucial because it strengthens your belief in your capacity to achieve long-term success. Conversely, when you rely solely on motivation and fail to act during periods of low energy or doubt, it can erode your confidence and lead to feelings of guilt or frustration. Discipline does not mean rigidity. It is important to be adaptable and realistic. Life will inevitably present challenges that disrupt your systems, but discipline allows for flexibility without abandoning your overall trajectory. Adjusting your approach or scaling down your efforts during difficult periods is a testament to resilience, not failure. Another key to cultivating discipline is focusing on the process rather than the outcome. Motivation often fixates on the end result, the vision of success that initially excites us. Discipline, however, emphasizes the daily actions that lead to that outcome. By valuing the process, you detach from immediate gratification and instead find satisfaction in consistent effort. This shift in mindset makes it easier to stay committed, even when progress feels slow or invisible. Discipline is about taking control of your life. It is a declaration that your actions will not be dictated by fleeting emotions or external circumstances, but by your commitment to growth and achievement. Motivation may light the fire, but discipline keeps it burning. By building systems that ensure consistent action and prioritizing discipline over fleeting bursts of inspiration, you equip yourself with a sustainable and reliable strategy for success. It is this steady, unwavering commitment that turns dreams into reality. Clarity of vision is the cornerstone of meaningful achievement. Without it, even the most determined efforts can become scattered, misdirected, or ultimately unfulfilling. To succeed in any area of life, you must first know precisely what you want, and more importantly, understand why it matters. This clarity provides the foundation for consistent action, aligns your efforts with your values, and serves as a compass when challenges arise. When your vision is clear, it eliminates ambiguity. You no longer waste energy debating your next steps or second-guessing your decisions. Instead, you operate with a sense of purpose, focusing your time and energy on actions that bring you closer to your goal. Think of a ship setting sail without a clear destination. It drifts aimlessly at the mercy of the tides. However, with a specific port in mind, every decision navigating the waters, adjusting the sails, braving the storms becomes purposeful and directed. To clarify your vision, you must first identify what you truly desire. This requires honest introspection, peeling away societal expectations, external pressures, and superficial wants to uncover what genuinely matters to you. It is not enough to have a vague goal like "I want to be successful" or "I want to be happy." These aspirations, while valid, lack specificity and are too broad to guide action. Instead, ask yourself, what does success look like for me? What kind of happiness am I seeking, and what will it take to achieve it? The more specific you are, the easier it becomes to create a plan and measure progress. Equally important is understanding why your goal matters. The why gives your vision depth and meaning, transforming it from a mere desire into a driving force. When your purpose is clear, it becomes a source of motivation and resilience. Challenges will no longer feel like insurmountable obstacles, but necessary steps in a journey that holds profound significance. For instance, if your goal is to build a successful business, your why might be to create financial freedom for your family, contribute to your community, or pursue a passion that fulfills you. This purpose anchors your efforts, keeping you focused even during moments of doubt or fatigue. A clear vision also aligns your actions with your values. It ensures that your pursuits are not just productive but meaningful. Without this alignment, you may achieve outward success but feel an inner sense of emptiness or dissatisfaction. When your goals resonate with your core beliefs, every step forward feels authentic and rewarding. Once your vision is clear, the next step is to break it down into actionable steps. A compelling vision can feel overwhelming if it remains a distant, abstract ideal. However, by dividing it into smaller, achievable milestones, you transform it into a tangible path. These milestones not only make your goal more manageable, but also provide a sense of accomplishment as you progress. Clarity of vision also simplifies decision-making. Life is full of distractions and competing priorities, and it is easy to be pulled in multiple directions. However, when you are clear about what you want, you can evaluate every choice through the lens of your vision. Does this action move me closer to my goal, or is it a distraction? This clarity empowers you to say no to what doesn't serve you and yes to what does, preserving your time and energy for what truly matters. A clear vision fosters resilience. When the road gets tough, and inevitably will, knowing your purpose can be the difference between giving up and persevering. Challenges and setbacks become part of the process rather than reasons to quit. Your vision acts as a beacon, reminding you of the bigger picture and why your efforts are worth it. Clarity of vision inspires others. Whether in a team, a family, or a community, people are drawn to those with a strong sense of purpose. Your clarity not only guides your actions, but also influences and motivates those around you, creating a ripple effect of focus and determination. A clear vision is your blueprint for success. It provides direction, fuels motivation, and ensures that your actions are intentional and aligned with your values. By knowing exactly what you want and why it matters, you lay the groundwork for consistent, purposeful progress. Your vision becomes the North Star that guides you through life's complexities, leading you to a destination that is not only successful but deeply fulfilling. Growth is born in discomfort. It is in the moments when you step beyond the boundaries of what feels safe, familiar, and easy that true transformation occurs. While comfort offers the illusion of stability, progress, no matter how significant, thrives on clarity and accountability. When you track your progress relentlessly, you turn abstract goals into tangible benchmarks. Measurement is a tool of empowerment. It reveals what is working, highlights areas that need adjustment, and ensures that your efforts are aligned with your aspirations. Without tracking, even the best intentions risk losing direction, leaving you unsure of whether you're truly moving forward or simply spinning in circles. To make meaningful progress, you must monitor your habits and milestones with purpose and consistency. Tracking begins with understanding your goals in detail. A vague ambition like getting healthier or being more productive lacks the structure necessary for improvement. Break your goals into specific, measurable components. For instance, getting healthier might involve tracking daily steps, calorie intake, or hours of sleep, while being more productive could focus on time spent on deep work or tasks completed each day. These measurable elements transform aspirations into actionable steps, providing a clear framework for progress. When you track your habits, you shine a light on the patterns that shape your outcomes. Habits are the building blocks of success, but they often operate subconsciously. Without measurement, it's easy to underestimate the impact of small, seemingly insignificant actions, both positive and negative. Tracking your habits allows you to see the cumulative effect of your daily choices. For example, if you're working toward a fitness goal, tracking your exercise routine and diet reveals whether you're consistently making choices that align with your objectives. If your progress stalls, the data gives you the insight needed to identify and correct any missteps. Relentless tracking also fosters self-awareness and discipline. It forces you to confront the gap between your intentions and your actions. Many people set ambitious goals but falter in their execution, often because they lack a clear picture of where they stand. Tracking removes ambiguity. If you set a goal to write 500 words a day, the act of recording your output each day holds you accountable. When the numbers don't align with your goal, it's a call to action, a reminder that success is not just about setting intentions, but following through on them consistently. One of the most significant benefits of tracking is that it builds momentum. Progress, even in small increments, is deeply motivating. When you see evidence of improvement, it reinforces your commitment to the process. Tracking allows you to celebrate these small wins, which are often overlooked in the absence of measurement. Whether it's losing a pound, completing a task ahead of schedule, or sticking to a habit for a week straight, these victories serve as proof that your efforts are paying off, inspiring you to keep going. Milestones play a crucial role in this process. While habits track daily consistency, milestones mark significant achievements along the journey. Both are essential for sustained progress. Milestones act as checkpoints, providing a sense of accomplishment and an opportunity to reflect on what's working and what could be improved. They also ensure that your efforts are aligned with your broader goals. Without milestones, it's easy to become overly focused on short-term habits while losing sight of the bigger picture. Consistency in tracking is key. Sporadic or half-hearted measurement dilutes its impact. Develop a system that works for you, whether it's a journal, a digital app, or a spreadsheet. The method matters less than the act of consistently recording and reviewing your progress. Make tracking a daily or weekly habit, and treat it as an essential part of your routine. Over time, this discipline will become second nature, a seamless part of your pursuit of growth. While tracking is a powerful tool, it's important to balance measurement with self-compassion. Not every day will be perfect, and progress is rarely linear. There will be setbacks, plateaus, and moments of frustration. When these occur, use your tracking data not as a source of judgment, but as a guide for improvement. The purpose of measurement is not to punish yourself for falling short, but to equip yourself with the information needed to get back on track. Tracking your progress relentlessly instills a sense of control and empowerment. It transforms the abstract into the actionable, the overwhelming into the manageable. It keeps you grounded in reality, showing you where you are, how far you've come, and what steps are needed to reach your destination. Success is not an accident, it is the result of deliberate, consistent effort, and tracking ensures that every step you take is purposeful and aligned with your goals. By measuring your habits and milestones, you create a roadmap for growth, ensuring that you're always moving forward toward the life you envision. Life rarely unfolds as planned. Even with the most meticulous preparation, unexpected challenges and obstacles are inevitable. Yet it is not the obstacles themselves that determine your success or failure, but your response to them. The ability to adapt rather than quit is a defining trait of those who achieve their goals. While life's unpredictability may test your resolve, it also offers opportunities to grow, learn, and refine your approach. Adjusting your strategy when needed is not a sign of weakness, it is a demonstration of resilience, resourcefulness, and an unyielding commitment to your aspirations. Quitting is often a response to frustration or fear. When the path ahead becomes unclear or progress feels slower than anticipated, it's tempting to walk away. But abandoning your goals guarantees only one outcome: failure. Adapting, on the other hand, keeps the door to success open. It acknowledges that the journey may be more complex than you anticipated, but it affirms your determination to navigate whatever challenges arise. The decision to adapt rather than quit is a declaration of belief in your own potential. Adapting begins with a shift in perspective. Challenges and setbacks are not signals to stop, they are feedback. They offer valuable insights into what is and isn't working. When you encounter a roadblock, take a step back and assess the situation. What led to this moment? Is there a different approach you can take? Adjusting your strategy requires humility and a willingness to accept that your initial plan may not have been perfect. This is not failure, it's growth. Flexibility is a cornerstone of adaptability. Rigidly clinging to one approach limits your ability to respond to changing circumstances. Flexibility allows you to pivot when necessary, whether by redefining your goals, exploring alternative methods, or adjusting your timeline. For example, if you're pursuing a career goal and one opportunity falls through, consider other paths that align with your vision. If a personal goal seems out of reach due to unforeseen circumstances, look for creative ways to keep moving forward. Flexibility doesn't mean abandoning your dreams, it means finding new ways to achieve them. Adapting also involves resilience, the capacity to recover from setbacks and keep going. Resilience is built through experience. Each time you face a challenge and refuse to quit, you strengthen your ability to endure. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or suppressing your emotions. It means acknowledging the hardship, processing it, and then channeling your energy into finding a solution. Resilience is a skill that grows with practice, and every challenge you overcome makes you stronger for the next. It's important to remember that progress is rarely linear. The path to success is often winding with detours, delays, and unexpected turns. These moments are not failures, they are part of the process. When you adjust your strategy, you keep yourself moving forward, even if the pace or direction changes. This persistence is what ultimately leads to success. Adapting also requires clarity about your ultimate goal. When you're clear on what you want and why it matters, it becomes easier to navigate obstacles. Your purpose acts as a compass, guiding you through uncertainty and helping you make decisions that align with your long-term vision. When challenges arise, reconnect with your purpose. Remind yourself why you started and what you stand to gain by continuing. This clarity provides the motivation to keep going, even when the journey is difficult. Surrounding yourself with the right support can make adaptation easier. Seek out mentors, friends, or communities who can offer guidance, encouragement, and fresh perspectives. They can help you see solutions you might have missed and remind you of your strengths when self-doubt creeps in. The journey toward your goals doesn't have to be a solitary one. Leaning on others is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. Celebrate the progress you make, no matter how small. Each step forward, each adjustment, is proof of your resilience and determination. By focusing on what you've accomplished rather than what remains to be done, you build momentum and reinforce your commitment to your goals. Progress, however incremental, is still progress. Adapting instead of quitting is a mindset that transforms obstacles into opportunities. It requires patience, flexibility, and an unwavering belief in your ability to succeed. While the journey may not look exactly as you imagined, the willingness to adjust your strategy ensures that you remain on the path toward your dreams. Life's unpredictability is not a barrier but a canvas on which you can continuously redefine your approach, proving that true success lies in persistence and adaptability. In the grand journey toward making 2025 your best year yet, consistency stands as the cornerstone of achievement. Through the deliberate practice of building small wins, prioritizing discipline over fleeting motivation, clarifying your vision, embracing discomfort, tracking your progress, and adapting to life's unpredictability, you carve a path to lasting success. Each step, no matter how small or challenging, reinforces your commitment to growth and fuels the momentum to keep going. Success is not about grand, occasional leaps, but the quiet, unyielding dedication to daily actions that align with your aspirations. By embracing these principles, you equip yourself not only to crush 2025, but to build a life of purpose, resilience, and fulfillment. Thank you for embarking on this journey with me and for committing to your growth. Here's to a year of unwavering consistency and boundless achievement. Let's make it extraordinary. Thank you. Every man wants you to detach, not because they want to lose you, but because detachment is a sign of strength, resilience, and personal mastery. The truth is, no one man or woman wants to be in a relationship where emotional dependency looms large. Dependency weakens the foundation of any connection, making it fragile, insecure, and prone to collapse. You see, detachment isn't about pushing people away. It's about freeing yourself from unnecessary emotional entanglements. It's about understanding that you have the power to regulate your own emotions and that no one else can take control of your peace unless you allow them to. When you detach, you're essentially saying, I am whole within myself. I don't need validation from others to know my worth. Many people, especially men, admire and even desire detachment because it represents independence. They are not looking for someone to cling to them, emotionally, mentally, or otherwise. They want someone who can stand alone, who can navigate life's challenges without constantly seeking validation. When you maintain your own emotional autonomy, you show that you are self-sufficient and emotionally mature. This self-sufficiency is incredibly attractive because it speaks of someone who has found peace within themselves and is not swayed by external forces. But here's the core of it: detachment is not about being cold or indifferent. It's about knowing where your boundaries are and respecting them, regardless of the pressure around you. When you detach, you are protecting your energy, maintaining your self-respect, and ensuring that your relationships are based on mutual understanding rather than need. True emotional strength doesn't come from clinging to others or depending on them for your happiness. It comes from recognizing that you are the master of your own emotional state. When you detach from the need to control or be controlled, you empower yourself. You allow yourself to show up in a relationship as a whole person, not someone desperate to fill a void. In relationships, men want to see strength, clarity, and self-respect. They don't want to be your emotional crutch, and they don't want to feel responsible for your emotional well-being. They respect your independence, and they crave an equal partner who will stand by them not because they need them, but because they choose to. So when you detach, you're not losing anything. In fact, you're gaining more freedom, more respect, and more room for authentic, healthy connections. Embrace your detachment and let it become the foundation for stronger, more empowered relationships. Detachment is a concept often misunderstood. Many people equate it with coldness or a lack of care, believing that to detach means to distance oneself emotionally from others, to cut ties, or to withdraw from meaningful connections. But detachment is far from that. It is not an abandonment of relationships or responsibilities. Rather, it is a powerful practice of reclaiming your personal power, maintaining your boundaries, and refusing to let external circumstances dictate your emotional state or decisions. It is the art of standing firm in who you are while navigating the complexities of human interaction. At its core, detachment is about freedom from the need to control others and freedom from being controlled by them. In life, there will always be circumstances that challenge us, people who test our patience, and events that trigger emotional responses. These are inevitable. However, when we attach ourselves too tightly to outcomes, opinions, or the behavior of others, we surrender our power, we allow external forces to manipulate our inner world, making our peace and happiness contingent on things we cannot always influence. Detachment breaks this cycle. It teaches us that while we cannot control the world around us, we can always control how we respond to it. Imagine being in a storm. Detachment does not mean denying the storm's existence or pretending it doesn't affect you. Instead, it means finding your center within the chaos, remaining grounded, composed, and self-aware, even as the winds rage around you. It's about recognizing that the storm is temporary, that it is external to you, and that you have the strength to weather it without losing yourself. This internal steadiness is what detachment cultivates. One of the most significant aspects of detachment is the establishment of healthy boundaries. Boundaries are not walls meant to shut people out. They are guidelines that define how we expect to be treated and how we treat ourselves. When you practice detachment, you learn to honor your own needs and limits without guilt or fear of judgment. You stop overextending yourself to please others, and you no longer sacrifice your well-being for the sake of external approval. Detachment allows you to engage with others from a place of mutual respect rather than from a place of neediness or dependency. Detachment also challenges the notion that we must control everything to be happy. Many people fall into the trap of believing that their happiness depends on achieving specific outcomes or gaining the approval of certain individuals. This mindset creates a relentless cycle of striving, worrying, and dissatisfaction. Detachment, however, shifts the focus inward. It teaches you to find contentment in the present moment and to trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. When you let go of the need to control, you make space for life to unfold naturally, often in ways that exceed your expectations. Another critical element of detachment is emotional resilience. Emotions are a natural and essential part of being human, but when we allow them to dominate us, we lose clarity and perspective. Detachment doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or becoming indifferent to them. Instead, it means observing them without becoming consumed by them. It's the ability to feel deeply while maintaining perspective, to acknowledge your emotions without letting them dictate your actions. This emotional maturity is a cornerstone of detachment. Relationships, too, benefit greatly from detachment. When you detach, you stop trying to control others or mold them to fit your expectations. You accept people for who they are, flaws and all, and give them the space to be themselves. This creates an atmosphere of mutual respect and trust, allowing relationships to flourish naturally. Detachment doesn't weaken connections, it strengthens them by removing the weight of unrealistic demands and fostering authenticity. Detachment is a journey inward. It's about reconnecting with yourself and realizing that your worth, happiness, and peace are not tied to external circumstances or other people. It's a practice of self-respect and self-reliance, a way of living that empowers you to navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. When you embrace detachment, you reclaim your personal power, create healthier relationships, and cultivate a profound sense of inner freedom that no external force can take away. Is a concept that strikes at the very core of human relationships, yet it is often fraught with complexities that can lead to tension and imbalance. For many men, the idea of dependency, whether emotional or psychological, can feel like a threat to their sense of autonomy and control. This fear of dependency is not about avoiding relationships or rejecting emotional intimacy, rather, it reflects a deep-seated desire to maintain personal power and respect in interactions. It's rooted in the belief that mutual strength and independence create the healthiest and most fulfilling connections. When it becomes excessive, creates an imbalance in relationships. When one person relies too heavily on another, be it for emotional validation, decision-making, or stability, it can place an undue burden on the other individual. For men, this dynamic often feels suffocating, as it undermines their ability to engage with others from a place of equality and mutual respect. Dependency shifts the balance of power, making one party overly reliant while the other feels the weight of responsibility for someone else's happiness. This is not a foundation on which trust and partnership thrive. The desire for detachment often arises from this fear of being trapped in a dynamic where dependency erodes boundaries. Men, like anyone else, value relationships where they are respected for who they are, not for the emotional support or solutions they can provide. This respect is closely tied to the independence of the other person. When someone is self-sufficient, they bring their whole self into a relationship, not as a fragment seeking completion, but as a complete individual capable of sharing and receiving without the need to cling or control. Self-sufficiency is magnetic because it reflects inner strength. Men often admire individuals who can stand on their own, navigate challenges independently, and maintain a strong sense of self, even in the context of a relationship. This admiration is rooted in the belief that independence fosters equality. When both individuals in a relationship are self-reliant, neither one feels the need to dominate or yield excessively to the other. Instead, they can meet as equals, creating a dynamic that is balanced and empowering for both. Unwavering boundaries are another critical aspect of why men value detachment. Boundaries are not about building walls or keeping people at a distance. They are about defining what is acceptable and what isn't, both for oneself and in relationships. When someone has clear boundaries, it communicates self-respect and self-awareness. It shows that they know their worth and will not compromise it for the sake of pleasing others. Men respect these boundaries because they create a framework of trust. They know where they stand and what is expected, which reduces uncertainty and fosters a sense of security. When boundaries are weak or absent, dependency often takes root. Without clear lines, one person may begin to overstep, taking more than they give, or one may feel compelled to give more than they should to keep the peace. This dynamic not only breeds resentment but also diminishes respect. Men, like anyone else, want to engage with individuals who hold their own ground, who are not afraid to say no, and who can assert their needs without fear of rejection. This is the hallmark of a strong, detached individual. Dependency, when unchecked, can also stifle growth, both personal and relational. For men, there is a natural inclination to seek growth and challenges, both within themselves and in their partnerships. When a relationship is rooted in dependency, it can feel like a weight rather than a source of inspiration. It limits the ability of both parties to explore their full potential. as the focus shifts to maintaining the status quo rather than evolving together. Detachment, on the other hand, encourages growth by allowing space for individuality. It acknowledges that two strong, independent people can come together not out of need, but out of choice, and that choice is far more powerful than dependency. The fear of dependency is not about avoiding love or connection, it's about preserving the essence of what makes those connections meaningful. Men respect and value individuals who bring their strength, independence, and clear boundaries into relationships. These qualities not only create a healthier dynamic, but also allow both parties to thrive as individuals. Detachment is not a rejection of intimacy, it's an invitation to engage in relationships from a place of equality, respect, and mutual empowerment. When dependency is replaced with independence and balance, relationships become not a source of burden, but a foundation for shared growth and fulfillment. Empowerment through independence is one of the most transformative journeys a person can undertake. Detachment does not mean isolation or a lack of connection with others. Rather, it signifies a deep commitment to self-reliance, personal growth, and emotional resilience. When you detach, you reclaim your power by no longer allowing your sense of self-worth or happiness to depend on external validation. This shift fosters strength, clarity, and confidence, which in turn commands respect. Independence is a beacon. It attracts others not through neediness, but through the quiet assurance of someone who knows their own value and does not require constant affirmation. When you are independent, you project a sense of wholeness. This is immensely attractive because it signals that you are secure in who you are. Independence doesn't mean that you refuse help or support, rather it means that you do not depend on others to define your worth or fulfill your emotional needs. People who are independent understand that they alone are responsible for their happiness, their decisions, and their growth. This level of self-awareness and accountability is magnetic because it demonstrates maturity and stability. Men, in particular, are drawn to this quality as it fosters equality and respect in relationships. Relying on someone else for emotional validation creates a dynamic where power becomes uneven. When you seek constant reassurance or approval from others, you place your self-worth in their hands. This not only burdens them, but also diminishes your own confidence and independence. It sends the message that your happiness hinges on their actions, creating a relationship that is rooted in need rather than mutual respect. In contrast, when you detach, you take full ownership of your emotions. You no longer rely on others to validate your feelings or decisions, and this autonomy liberates you from the fear of rejection or disappointment. Detachment strengthens you because it teaches you to find fulfillment within yourself. Instead of looking outward for validation, you turn inward and cultivate a deep connection with your own values, goals, and desires. This self-reliance builds resilience, enabling you to face challenges without feeling overwhelmed or defeated. It allows you to navigate relationships with grace as you no longer fear losing yourself in them. When you are secure in your independence, you engage with others from a place of strength rather than neediness. This balance is what creates relationships built on mutual respect and admiration. Independence also fosters personal empowerment because it aligns you with your true self. When you're detached, you are free to make decisions based on your own values and priorities, rather than being swayed by external pressures or the expectations of others. This clarity allows you to set healthy boundaries and honor them without guilt. Boundaries are essential in any relationship because they protect your emotional and mental well-being. They signal to others that you respect yourself and that you expect the same in return. Men, in particular, respect individuals who have clear boundaries because it shows strength, self-awareness, and a commitment to personal integrity. Another powerful aspect of independence is the confidence it cultivates. When you know that you can rely on yourself, you exude a sense of assurance that is both inspiring and attractive. Confidence is not arrogance, it is the quiet belief in your own abilities and worth. This self-assuredness allows you to engage with others authentically, without fear of judgment or rejection. Men are naturally drawn to individuals who are confident in themselves, because it creates an atmosphere of trust and stability. When you are independent, you don't need to prove your worth or compete for attention. Your presence speaks for itself. In relationships, independence enhances connection rather than diminishing it. When both individuals are self-reliant, they come together not out of necessity but out of genuine desire. This creates a dynamic where each person can grow and thrive without feeling constrained or dependent. Men value this kind of partnership because it is rooted in equality and mutual support. When you are independent, you bring your full self into the relationship, offering strength, insight, and companionship without losing your individuality. Detachment and independence are not about rejecting relationships or denying emotional connection. They are about creating a foundation of strength and self-reliance that allows you to engage with others from a place of empowerment. When you detach, you take control of your own life and emotions, freeing yourself from the need for constant validation. This empowerment through independence not only enhances your own well-being, but also attracts relationships that are healthy, balanced, and respectful. Independence is a gift you give to yourself, and it is one that naturally draws others to you for all the right reasons. The strength of emotional control lies at the heart of personal empowerment and inner peace. Emotional detachment is often misunderstood as indifference or a lack of feeling, but in truth it is a profound form of mastery over one's inner world. It is not about suppressing emotions or avoiding relationships, rather, it is about maintaining a state of emotional balance and resilience, regardless of external circumstances. When you achieve emotional detachment, you gain the ability to navigate life's challenges with clarity and composure, ensuring that no one can manipulate or disrupt your peace. Emotional control begins with self-awareness. To manage your emotions effectively, you must first understand them, acknowledging your feelings without allowing them to overpower you. This does not mean denying your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It means observing them with curiosity and detachment. For example, when anger arises, instead of acting on it impulsively, you can step back, assess its root cause, and choose a measured response. This practice not only prevents rash decisions, but also strengthens your ability to handle future emotional triggers with greater ease. One of the key benefits of emotional detachment is freedom from external manipulation. In many relationships and interactions, emotions can be used as tools of control, whether intentionally or unintentionally. When someone might provoke anger, guilt, or fear to elicit a specific reaction from you, when you cultivate emotional control, you become immune to such tactics. By refusing to react impulsively, you deny others the power to dictate your behavior or influence your decisions. This doesn't mean shutting people out, it means engaging with them from a place of strength and self-assurance rather than vulnerability. Emotional detachment also fosters resilience in the face of adversity. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. Whether it's a personal setback, a difficult relationship, or a professional disappointment, maintaining emotional control allows you to respond to these situations constructively. Instead of being overwhelmed by frustration or despair, you can focus on finding solutions and moving forward. This resilience is not about suppressing pain or discomfort, it's about refusing to let those feelings define you. You acknowledge them, learn from them, and then let them go, reclaiming your focus and energy. A vital aspect of emotional detachment is the ability to set boundaries. When you control your emotions, you can establish clear limits on how others can treat you and what behaviors you will tolerate. These boundaries are essential for maintaining your emotional well-being and ensuring that relationships remain healthy and respectful. Without emotional control, it's easy to let guilt or fear erode your boundaries, leading to resentment and dissatisfaction. But when you are emotionally resilient, you can enforce your boundaries with confidence and grace, protecting your peace without alienating others. It's important to recognize that emotional detachment does not mean becoming cold or unfeeling. On the contrary, it allows you to engage with others more authentically. When you are not ruled by your emotions, you can listen more deeply, communicate more effectively, and empathize without losing yourself in someone else's struggles. Emotional control creates space for compassion and connection because it frees you from the need to react defensively or protectively. You can be present with others without being consumed by their emotions or allowing their state of mind to dictate your own. Developing emotional detachment is a process that requires practice and patience. It involves shifting your focus inward, recognizing that your peace and happiness come from within, not from external validation or circumstances. This shift can be challenging, especially if you are accustomed to seeking approval or reacting strongly to others' opinions. But as you practice mindfulness, self-reflection, and emotional regulation, you will find that detachment becomes second nature. Over time, you will notice a profound transformation in how you approach life's ups and downs. Emotional detachment is not about distancing yourself from feelings or people, it is about reclaiming your power. It is about ensuring that your emotions serve you rather than the other way around. This strength of emotional control allows you to face life with courage and composure, build healthier relationships, and protect your peace in an often chaotic world. It is a gift you give to yourself, one that brings greater clarity, stability, and fulfillment to every aspect of your life. Emotional resilience is not the absence of feeling, it is the mastery of your emotional landscape, a skill that empowers you to live with intention and grace. Detachment at its core is an act of profound self-respect. It is not a withdrawal from others or an indication of apathy, rather it is a clear affirmation of your own worth. By detaching, you signal to the world and to yourself that you value your inner peace, priorities, and well-being above all else. This does not make you selfish, it makes you grounded. To detach is to recognize that while relationships and connections are vital, they should never come at the cost of your individuality, integrity, or self-respect. When you prioritize detachment, you prioritize yourself. This means honoring your own needs, desires, and values instead of constantly bending to accommodate others. For many, this can feel uncomfortable, especially if they've been conditioned to equate self-worth with self-sacrifice. But true self-respect lies in maintaining your identity and boundaries, even within the closest relationships. It's not about building walls to keep others out. It's about creating a strong foundation from which you can connect authentically without losing yourself in the process. It is about taking responsibility for your own happiness. When you rely on others to validate you or fulfill your emotional needs, you hand over your power, you become dependent on their moods, actions, or approval to feel worthy or content. This dynamic is not only draining but also unsustainable, as it places the burden of your well-being on someone else. Detaching shifts that responsibility back to where it belongs with you. It allows you to cultivate inner stability, ensuring that your sense of self remains intact, regardless of external circumstances. A key element of detachment as self-respect is the establishment of boundaries. Boundaries are not about rejecting others or being inflexible, they are about protecting your emotional and mental well-being. When you set boundaries, you communicate what is and isn't acceptable in your relationships, and you create a space where mutual respect can thrive. Without boundaries, it's easy to become enmeshed in others' expectations, losing sight of your own needs and desires. But when you detach, you maintain clarity about what you will and won't tolerate, ensuring that your self-worth is never compromised. It also allows you to approach relationships from a place of strength rather than need. When you respect yourself, you don't seek validation or approval from others to feel whole. Instead, you engage with people because you genuinely value their presence, not because you need them to complete you. This shift transforms your relationships, making them healthier and more balanced. It creates an environment where love and connection are freely given, not demanded or expected. Others are drawn to this kind of strength because it reflects confidence, security, and self-assurance. Respecting yourself through detachment does not mean you avoid emotions or connections. In fact, it allows you to experience them more fully and authentically. When you are detached, you are not constantly worrying about how others perceive you or whether you are meeting their expectations. This freedom enables you to be present, to express yourself honestly, and to form deeper, more meaningful bonds. Paradoxically, detachment often strengthens relationships because it removes the pressure of dependency, allowing both parties to flourish individually and together. Detachment also empowers you to walk away when necessary. Self-respect means recognizing when a relationship or situation no longer serves you and having the courage to let it go. This is not an act of cruelty or indifference, it is an act of self-preservation. Staying in a situation that diminishes your worth or violates your boundaries erodes your sense of self over time. Detaching allows you to prioritize your well-being without guilt, ensuring that you remain aligned with your values and goals. Honoring your own needs and desires first is not selfish, it is essential. By putting yourself first, you model self-respect for others and create a standard for how you expect to be treated. You teach others that you value yourself and that you won't accept anything less than respect and consideration. This doesn't make you distant or unapproachable, it makes you someone who is grounded, confident, and whole. It is a powerful statement of your worth, one that inspires others to treat you accordingly. Detachment as self-respect is about balance. It's about recognizing that while relationships and connections enrich our lives, they should never define us. It's about loving and valuing yourself enough to remain true to who you are, no matter the circumstances. Detachment empowers you to live authentically, to connect deeply, and to honor your worth in every interaction. It is a practice of self-love that radiates outward, transforming not only your relationship with yourself, but also your relationships with others. Detachment fosters the foundation for healthier relationships by removing the weight of unhealthy expectations and creating a space where both individuals can thrive. It is a practice of letting go not of love or connection, but of the need to control, cling, or demand. When detachment is embraced, relationships become lighter, more authentic, and more fulfilling, as both parties are free to engage from a place of mutual respect and trust rather than fear or dependence. At the heart of healthy relationships is the principle of mutual respect. Detachment allows each person to honor the other's individuality and autonomy, recognizing that neither is responsible for the other's happiness or sense of self-worth. This respect creates a balanced dynamic where both individuals feel valued for who they are rather than for what they provide. When you approach a relationship with detachment, you're not looking to fill a void or seeking someone to complete you. Instead, you're sharing your life with someone from a place of wholeness and self-assurance. This shift in perspective makes the relationship stronger because it removes the pressure of unrealistic expectations. Trust is another cornerstone of healthy relationships, and detachment naturally nurtures it. When you detach, you relinquish the need to control your partner or monitor their every move. You trust them to be themselves, to make their own choices, and to contribute to the relationship in their own way. This trust fosters an environment of safety and openness where both parties feel free to express their true selves without fear of judgment or retribution. It eliminates the constant need for reassurance, replacing it with a deep-seated confidence in the bond. Detachment also encourages freedom within relationships, which is essential for personal growth and connection. When individuals feel free to pursue their interests, passions, and goals without being tethered to someone else's expectations, they are more likely to flourish. This freedom does not mean a lack of commitment or care. It means that the relationship supports rather than stifles each person's journey. By detaching, you allow your partner to explore their individuality while remaining connected to you. This balance of independence and interdependence strengthens the bond, as both individuals bring their best selves to the relationship. One of the most significant benefits of detachment is that it eliminates unhealthy dependency. In relationships where one or both partners are overly dependent, there is often an underlying sense of imbalance and dissatisfaction. Dependency can lead to feelings of resentment, suffocation, and a loss of identity as one person relies on the other for emotional validation or decision-making. Detachment breaks this cycle by empowering each person to take responsibility for their own happiness and well-being. When both individuals are self-reliant, the relationship becomes a partnership of equals rather than a source of emotional obligation or burden. Detachment also cultivates emotional resilience, which is vital for navigating the ups and downs of any relationship. By detaching, you develop the ability to respond to challenges with clarity and composure rather than being swept away by emotional reactions. And this resilience allows you to address conflicts constructively and maintain a sense of perspective even during difficult times. It also ensures that your emotional state is not entirely dependent on the actions or moods of your partner, giving you the stability needed to weather storms together. Detachment enhances communication within relationships. When you are not entangled in unhealthy expectations or fears, you can listen more attentively and express yourself more honestly. Detachment removes the need for defensive or manipulative behavior, allowing for open and authentic dialogue. This transparency builds trust and understanding as both individuals feel heard and valued. Detachment paves the way for unconditional love. By releasing the need to control or change your partner, you can accept them as they are, flaws, quirks, and all. This acceptance creates a profound sense of connection as both parties feel seen and appreciated for who they truly are. Unconditional love thrives in the absence of expectations, and detachment makes room for it to grow. Detachment is not about distancing yourself from relationships, but about creating a healthier space within them. It allows both individuals to engage from a place of strength, respect, and authenticity, free from the constraints of dependency or control. By fostering trust, freedom, and mutual understanding, detachment transforms relationships into partnerships where both parties can thrive individually and together. It is not a rejection of connection, but a celebration of it, one that honors the unique journeys of both individuals while nurturing the bond they share. In conclusion, detachment is not about isolating yourself or diminishing the importance of relationships. It's about reclaiming your personal power, fostering emotional resilience, and creating space for genuine, healthy connections. By detaching, you establish boundaries, nurture self-respect, and empower yourself to engage with others from a place of strength and authenticity. This approach not only enhances your sense of self, but also transforms your relationships into partnerships built on mutual respect, trust, and freedom. Detachment allows you to honor your worth and to give and receive love in its truest, most unconditional form. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on this powerful concept and for being open to understanding the transformative potential of detachment in your life.